I would like to acknowledge that this video is being filmed on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to their elders past and present, and extend that respect to any Aboriginal, Torres Strait Islander or First Nations people who may be watching this video today. Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have another A to Z of romance recommendations. I've done a couple of these already. I will leave the playlist linked on the screen. This is where I go through every letter of the alphabet and give you a recommendation based on that letter. So it could be that the letter is in the title or the author's name, something like that. Sometimes it's even been in the series name. Essentially, this is just a really quick way for me to give you a lot of recommendations with a very short synopsis, usually keywords and tropes. And if they pique your interest, you can definitely check them out. But as always, all of the books are listed down below with the authors so that you can find them later on if you need to. All right, let's get into it. The first book I have is The Architect by Nikki Sloane. This is the third book in the Nashville Neighbors series. Now, I'm mentally blanking on whether this is MMF or MFM, but anyway, it's one of the two, and it is about a woman who is dating an architect who is kind of aloof, and when his project takes him away, he ends up finding Travis to be his stand-in in their relationship. B is for Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This is a rivals to lovers relationship between a book publicist and an editor, and they are forced to spend time together when they end up in the same small town. C is for Misadventures of a Curvy Girl by Sierra Simone. This is an MMF story between an established gay couple and a curvy heroine who is in town looking to promote small town living. D is for Take the Lead by Alexis, Daria. This is the first book in her Dance Off series, which I love this book so much. It is about a reality TV dancing show where the heroine is one of the dancers for the show who is paired with a man who is part of an Alaskan living reality TV show, and he really does not want to be on this dancing show, but he's there anyway, and they begin to fall for one another. E is for Electric Idol by Katee Robert. This is Eros and Psyche's story. It is book 2 in the Dark Olympus series, and Eros and Psyche enter into a fake marriage in order to save her life. F is for The Fifth Gender by Carriger. This is a really charming science fiction romance. The relationship is between an alien and a human who need to work together to solve a murder. G is for The Good Girl's Guide to Rakes by Abel. This is the first book in the Last Chance Scoundrels series. It is a historical romance between a rake who needs to reform his image and a heroine who has a spotless reputation in the eyes of society. H is for Her Soul to Take by Harley Laroux. This is the first book in the Souls trilogy. This one is about Leon, who is a demon who has basically been under the thumb of humans who are seeking to control him, but then he stumbles across his mate when she returns to town, and he can't help himself from stalking and claiming her. I is for I Married a Naga by Regine Abel. This is another sci-fi romance. This is a marriage of convenience because the heroine has a choice between either marrying one of the natives on the planet where she is working, where she has found herself, or being executed, and so she takes the marriage. The hero in this is a total cinnamon roll, despite the fact that he is a snake person, and I don't like snakes, and I loved this book. J is for Crimes of Passion by Jack Harbin. This was an audiobook that I read, and it is an romance between two rival podcasters who come together for a special podcast series and end up falling for one another. K is for Night by Katee Robichaux. This is Club Alias book 5. It's the only book that I've read in the series, although I would be very interested in going back and reading the rest of it. This is an unrequited friends to lovers romance with BDSM elements, and I just really enjoyed it. L is for The Lady's Guide to Celestial Mechanics by Olivia Waite. This is another historical romance, but this time it's sapphic. And it is the relationship between a countess and the woman that she hires to translate a French astronomy text. M is for The Madness of Lord Ian McKenzie, and this is by Jennifer Ashley. This is a historical romance. It is the first book in the Mackenzies and McBrides series, and it is the romance between an autistic hero who is just precious and a widow. N is Theirs for the Night by Katee Robert. This is the first book in the Twisted Hearts series. The first book is a novella. It is an MMF relationship between a young woman who is celebrating her birthday and two men who she doesn't know at the time are a prince and his bodyguard. O is for Our Favorite Songs by ANITA Kelly. This is the second book in the Moonlighters series, which features a karaoke bar. This is an romance between two men who have not really gotten along since high school but are forced together and then end up snowed in after they have a one-night stand. You know, plus karaoke. P is for Puck, Drills and Quick Thrills by Eden Finley and Saxon James. This is the CU Hockey series book 5. This is an romance between a former pro hockey player who has turned to college coaching because he's been left with the custody of his 5 younger siblings when their parents are killed in an accident. It is his relationship with a professor at the college where he coaches. Q is for His Quiet Agent by Maria Soto. I talk about this book all the time. It is a beautiful, quiet romance with an asexual hero. There is no steam in this book, but it is just gorgeous, between a man who works at an office for an intelligence agency and the man who might just be a secret agent. R is for Ravensong by TJ Klune. This is the second book in the Green Creek series and it's absolutely gorgeous. It is a paranormal romance series featuring a second chance relationship between 2 older men who find themselves forced back together and having to deal with all of the feelings that they left unsaid from years past. And one is a witch and one is a werewolf. S is for Smash and Grab by Maz Maddox, because of course it is. This is an paranormal dinosaur shifter romance series and it is utterly delightful. One of the characters is totally chaos personified. The other studies dinosaur bones and they are thrown together. Hilarity ensues, hijinks happen, and I love this series. T is for The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker, which I've just recently read. This is about a woman who returns to Alaska after being away from the majority of her life to visit her estranged father who's just been diagnosed with cancer, and it is her relationship with the Alaskan pilot who loves to antagonize her. U is for Unhinged by Onley James. This is another romance and this one features a family of psychopaths who are being trained to hunt down bad guys, and in Unhinged, Adam, who is the psychopath, finds the one person who he will do anything for, and he is determined to keep him. V is for The Seduction of Viscount Bice by Nicola Davidson. This is the 3rd book in the Fallen series. It is a historical romance series. This is also a second chance romance between a Scotsman who is part owner in a pleasure club and the woman that he once loved. W is for The Witch's Wolves by Ellie Mae McGregor, another book I won't shut up about. This is an MMF paranormal romance between 2 wolfmen who are in an established relationship and the witch who ends up sort of barreling into their lives while she is trying to escape the suffocating small town where she lives. X is Waiting for the Flood by Alexis Hall. This is the 2nd book in the Spies series. It is a novella and it is one of those beautiful quiet romance books. It is it is contemporary, and it is about 2 men who meet during flood season. One lives permanently in this town and his love interest is one of the men who come to town in order to shore it up for the floodwaters. It is super short and just gorgeous. Y is for Ryan by Jessica Gadziella. This is book 2 in the Malik Brothers series. It is the relationship between a loan shark and a kinder teacher. And this one does feature anxiety and agoraphobia representation as well, which was great to see. And finally, Z is Her Naughty Holiday by Tiffany Reisz. This is a steamy contemporary romance between a woman and the single father that she has had a crush on for ages, who end up fake dating for her family's holiday Thanksgiving dinner because she knows that if she doesn't have a date for Thanksgiving, she's not going to hear the end of it from her family. The hero happens to be the father of a teenage girl that she has working for her in her shop, and they get along fantastically well, and it's actually the daughter who puts him forward as the potential fake date, which is just amazing. This is my favorite book in this series. It's book 2. It's amazing. All right, so those are my recommendations for this video. In the comments, I'd love to know if you've read any of them. Otherwise, feel free to share your own recommendations for any of the letters of the alphabet. Otherwise, I hope that wherever you're in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, everyone.